Yep. But moving on to the third fight on the card, we have a nice heavyweight matchup pinning up Maurice Greene, who is 9-5 and is the plus 160 underdog, going up against Marcus Rogerio de Lima, who is 17-7-1 and is the minus 190 favorite. What do you think of this matchup?
Yeah, like you said, man, this is a great matchup at heavyweight between two fighters who are trying to make the next step in their career. Maurice Greene, who might have the craziest fighter name I've ever heard of, the Crochet Boss, is looking to bounce back from his loss against Greg Hardy. On the other hand, you have Marcos Rogerio de Lima, who is also looking to bounce back over a submission loss against Alexander Romanov. The way I see this fight is that these two are going to try to keep it standing. And I can see Greene capitalizing on De Lima's poor takedown defense and trying to capture his fifth submission victory. De Lima's ground game is his biggest weakness. And with 6 of his UFC losses are submission losses in the UFC. And I think Greene's camp knows this and knows that this is his opponent's weakness and is going to look to capitalize on his ground game, but not only his ground game, but also to capitalize on Greene's 6'7" frame and 7-inch reach advantage, and use that to his favor. So with that being said, again, I'm going with an underdog, and I'm going to go with Maurice the Crochet Boss Greene by a second round submission victory.
This was kind of tough for me. Like, you got Greene, who's beat Junior Albini. He lost to Sergey Pavlovich, Alexei Oleinik. He beat Gene Valente, which it took him a lot. Like, he was losing that fight. Like, he was getting dominated, and then he just out of nowhere in the third round picked up that submission to win it. I remember I picked him in that fight, and then I got excited as shit when he pulled out the crazy submission. Then he lost it.
Valente's gas tank was empty in that fight. Yeah. That was a hard fight to watch for both of them. They were mouth open, struggling.
And then you got Greg Hardy fight where he got knocked out. But then you got Marcos, who lost to Vince St. Preux. He beat Adam Weck. He lost to Stefan Struve by submission. He beat Ben Saucely, and then his last one he lost to Alexander Romanov. So he hasn't fought in 5 months, whereas it's same thing. I think I feel like they fought on the same card. 5 months and just a week apart. But you got Greene, who is fighting out of Illinois, whereas Marcos is fighting out of Brazil. Greene is 34 to Lima's 35. They're both floating at around 250 pounds. Greene is 6'7", and then Lima is 6'1", so Greene has the height advantage. And then the big difference here is Greene has the 82-inch reach advantage, and Lima has 75-inch reach. And then Greene's fighting out the Performance Compound, and then Lima's fighting out American Top Team as well. Lima has a skill set of a traditional power heavyweight with serious striking power and vicious ground and pound. He's known for getting his guys down and then just demolishing them in the ground and pound. 6 of Lima's last 8 victories have been knockout. He's a black belt in BJJ. He has some ground ability and has produced 3 submission victories, but he's also been submitted 5 times as well. As you said, like you have Greene by submission.
Yeah.
So I could see that happening. He's 36 years old. He wants to fight on his feet where he can unleash his power. So he's looking to stand up and trade.
Oh, for sure.
He's looking to do that so he can get to what he's good at. He's Greene, whereas Greene is effective in the clinch and will throw hard knees to the body. He tries to weaken you with the knees. He comes from a kickboxing background, has shown decent strike defense through 7 UFC fights. He has a blue belt in BJJ, and all 5 of his submission victories have come by triangle choke. So that's his favorite thing to do. He likes to use the choke. Lima is easily the more accurate striker of the two. He likes his chances against anybody in the stand-up and has a high level of BJJ with the ability to take you down to the canvas. And that's when he goes with those elbows and knees that he likes to throw. And then he tries to finish you on the ground. I think the problem with this matchup lies is the fact that what's going to happen is going to be on the ground because it seems like both guys like to clinch.
Yeah.
But it feels like Lima is going to lean more towards the stand up, maybe like the stand up clinch instead of the takedown clinch. It's going to try and, I feel like Lima's going to try and clinch him against the cage.
Dirty box.
And dirty box there, whereas Greene, he's going to look to take Marcus down to the ground and clinch. And with those 5 losses by submission, it's going to try and submit Lima. But if that can happen, that's going to not bode well for Lima. He's going to want to do that. He's going to want to get in there. He's going to want to use those knees to help him get down Lima, and then get the fight to the ground. And I feel like at the end, I was leaning towards Lima because Lima has the power shot, and I feel like Greene might get knocked out. But I feel like the more that I think of it in this matchup, that I feel like he's going to take Lima down. He's going to be able to avoid those shots.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's going to get the third round submission.
Nice.
I feel like maybe it's going to be like the Valente fight where Lima is winning, just not dominantly like Valente was. And then he's going to get gassed out a little bit, and then Greene's going to win because he's going to have more of the gas tank, and he's going to be able to lock in the choke and then win by third round submission.
Yeah, I mean, Marcos kind of reminds me of Roy Nelson in a bit, where Roy Nelson was, one of a world-class grappler, right? BJJ black belt, kind of just like you said with Marcos, and then totally abandoned it because you don't see a bunch of heavyweights going to the ground and, putting people into arm bars and triangle chokes, right? The thing that stands out to me between this matchup is the Marcos Rogerio de Lima's Stefan Struve fight.
Yeah.
Another skyscraper, right? Struve's what, 7'7", 7'8", or 6'7", sorry. It's not Yao Ming. 6'7", 6'8". Big dude, right? Huge guy. Mm-hmm. Maurice Greene's a big guy too. And I believe Struve got him with a triangle choke. Maurice Greene's favorite go-to move. So if Marcos is, he's the power guy, he's going to get in there and try and look for that knockout shot, kind of like Greg Hardy did on Greene. If you're able to get taken down and submitted by a long, huge competitor like that, it's not going to bode well for the next long, huge competitor that comes in whose favorite move is the triangle choke.
Yeah.
So that's what made me sway my decision. You look at the numbers and you have your classic knockout artist versus your ground game guy who has a subpar gas tank. I think the judges, or not the judges, the odds makers are like, well, this is going to be a quick one. He just got knocked out his last fight. This guy knocks out people. That's why we're going to give him the nod. But I'm riding with the underdog, but 2 fights in a row.
I don't think it's big of an underdog either because I used to say minus 190 plus 160. I think they're just riding Lima because he's the power guy
for sure
who can knock somebody out, whereas Greene, he kind of relies on the submission, which is kind of crazy thinking of his stature and his reach. But that reach can be used as a plus for a grappler in submission because he can wrap his hands around him with ease and get that choke in because he doesn't have to he doesn't have to go short amount of time. He can do like a smaller, easier choke where it doesn't look like he's putting a lot of pressure on, but he really is because of his reach.
Yeah, I mean, Greene's 2 inches taller than I am, and if I were ever in a fight, I would not want him to go to the ground because I'm such a large body down there. But also, having long limbs like I do and like Maurice Greene does, it does come to your advantage, and you're kind of easier to kind of slip those chokes in there.
Yep. I think he's going to let Lima try and gas himself out. I think he's going to test Lima, let him throw some shots and see how his gas tank's going to be. And I feel like Lima's going to try and take too much advantage of it. And then if he doesn't knock out Greene in the first round, I think he's going to – I think that's the only way Lima wins is by a first-round knockout.
I agree.